Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, it's Clayton, and I just got done seeing A Dog's Purpose. Now, when I saw this film, I decided to look at Rotten Tomatoes to see how the critics were looking at it, and it's being panned to near infinity. And you know what? I actually had a decent amount of fun with this movie. It does have some serious flaws, to be sure, but for just a simple story about a dog who goes through several lifetimes, I think it's actually kind of fun. But let's get to the story, shall we? Josh Gad voices a dog who goes through various lives with a couple of people. The first of his lives is with a boy named Ethan. The next of his life he has is with a police officer named Carlos, and his third life is with a girl named Maya. There's actually that's the thing that I like about this movie. The fact that it shows a life when it comes to a lot of these stories. While there is an overlapping story of the dog wanting to find his old owner Ethan, who in his later years is played by Dennis Quaid, it really doesn't feel the need to have a lot of cliches in the same way that a lot of these cutesy, family-friendly animal films do. In fact, it reminded me a lot of Marley and Me, where the story was just, here's this couple, here's a dog, and here's their life. The movie is quite a bit like that. And Josh Gad's narration, while sometimes a bit cringeworthy, can be funny sometimes, though it's more to do with the fact that it's Josh Gad as the dog, because he can practically turn a lot of lines that would otherwise be poor into genuinely comedic lines. Not only that, but pretty much all the actors in the film, even the child actors, do a pretty good job with their roles. And they make an otherwise, by-the-numbers script into something that is not exactly memorable, but you can tell they're just putting their all into it. The problem with the film is that the film feels a little jumbled. Considering the dog goes through several lives. In his first life he's Bailey, in the second life he's Ellie, and in the third life he's Tito, etc. The story feels a bit jumbled at times, because even though Ethan the Ethan storyline gets the most development, there's a point in the film where that storyline ends and we just go on to the next one. And then that storyline ends kind of abruptly, and then we just go on to the next one. It causes a lot of tone shifts in the movie that feel like they come out of place, and it makes the storylines end seemingly before they should. It's like one of those, those anthology films where some stories stop before they really get started? This film is a bit like that, and considering that it's only 140 minutes long, some of the characters in each of the storylines don't get a lot of time to develop before we just have to move on to the next one. I'm not saying it's as bad as, say, the Digimon movie, but it's still noticeable. Not only that, but the script, while not terrible, is not very memorable either. And the film isn't as charming as it could have been with a lot of its scenes. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of tone shifts throughout the movie. There's a few dark moments that feel a bit out of place in the film that's genuinely pretty whimsical throughout. And the direction of the film, while not being terrible, is sort of generic when it comes to these types of films. So, if you're a fan of films like Marley and Me or Old Yeller, this film probably will bring a smile to your face, but if you don't like films that are about dogs, or if you're just not an animal person, then this film will not change you in the slightest. Personally, I had fun with it, mainly due to Josh Gad's performance and the fact that all the actors did a great job with their roles, and the fact that the film does bookend itself in a decent way, and it has a strong message that Josh Gad delivers at the end, but it's easy to see why the critics don't like it, and hence why I consider A Dog's Purpose to be a mixed bag overall. So I'll give A Dog's Purpose a 6.5 out of 10. Not terrible, but not exactly memorable either. See you later.